Welcome, beautiful thinkers. Now, if you have a grudge or some negative emotions about somebody, you can act on it, you can confront them, or you can let it go. The worst thing you can do is nothing, to let it fester. Let's talk about that.
This is a beautiful thought.
Welcome, beautiful thinkers. Let's talk about letting go of grudges. So the other day, my housemate got a new puppy, and puppies quite excitable, quite uncontrollable, difficult to train, and I noticed there's something black on the floor the other day. Went over to pick it up. It was the remote control for the television. Little Chella had eaten or attempted to eat this remote control and chewed a little bit into the battery. Luckily, she didn't swallow them. Then another morning, I came out and I saw something white on the floor. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's my t-shirt. My t-shirt with a certain sentimental value. A t-shirt from the Paradise Paradox, like possibly the only one of these t-shirts in the world ever printed that says real money. It has pictures of a Mexican libertad, a silver coin that is a Bitcoin, and a gold coin, and paradiseparadox.com written on the bottom on the banner. That t-shirt is no more. Of course, it had some special value to me because it was had this connection to that project that I used to do, and yeah, now it no longer exists. And I mentioned it to my housemate, and I said, Chella ate my t-shirt, and he said, yeah, we all have casualties. And I was like, what? I thought, this dude's not even going to apologize. I'm like, yeah, you have casualties. She had your remote control, but she's your puppy. So control it, or do something. And then I thought about it later. Well, a few minutes later. And I was like, all right, I have the choice. It's a conscious moment. It's like a choose your own adventure story. You have the moment to choose. And the only error really is in not choosing. So, of course, if I do not choose, then I leave these thoughts to continue in my brain, thinking, how unjust it is, or something like that, how my housemate has wronged me or something. That's one choice in a way, or that's the lack of choice. Then I can choose to talk to him about it and say, demand an apology, or asking for an apology or compensation or something, or at least acknowledgement. Or I can just let it go. And I thought, well, all right, this t-shirt had a stain on it anyway. I wasn't wearing it very often, so it's not that big a deal. I could talk to him about it, but I think it's not so important, and I will just let it go. As it happened, later that day, he said to me, I'm sorry what Chella did to your shirt. And I said, thanks, I appreciate that you acknowledge that happened. Many years ago in high school, of course, well, I think it happens to most people in primary school and high school. Someone will bully you unless you're somehow at the very top of the hierarchical order, top of the pegging order. Someone is going to bully you. And maybe even if you're at the top, maybe the teachers bully you, right? And I had these friends, actually, they weren't always very nice to me. They'd pick on me or pick on each other. And, well, that was kind of part of my life back then. I didn't know how to deal with it or how to stand up for myself exactly. And that was probably the reason that they picked on me more, seeing me as an easy target. And I kind of more or less stayed friends with these guys. through high school, ended up choosing a different friends group. But many years later, find like one of these fellows, run into them in a pub, and like, hey, it's you. It's you, Kurt. Let me buy you a beer. Here's a cigarette. And it's funny. I mean, in that moment, I could make a fuss about it and say, why are you being so nice to me now? I remember these things that you did to me in high school. They weren't very nice, punching me or whatever. And I probably did some things to him that weren't very nice. In fact, I'm sure I did. But none of that mattered. Actually, all of that seemed to slip away. All he remembered, apparently, was the good times, the good vibes that we shared, even though it was a difficult friendship. Neither of us really know how to communicate properly, being just children. And what do I do? Okay, I could stand up to him and say, hey, I don't want a beer from you, or something like that. Or I could just forget the whole thing. Just let it go. And just enjoy the opportunity for a new friendship or a new connection. And yes, that's exactly what I did. Because, like I've said before, making happiness a priority is much more important than trying to remember a grudge. Of course, some people know that expression. Well, there's a few of them. Never hold a grudge. I think this comes from some humorist from the 20s. Never hold a grudge. When you hold a grudge, they're out dancing. Or the other version of it is, a grudge is like a poison, but it doesn't get the object of the grudge. It gets you. You poison yourself. You get that acid, and it burns the lip of the jug. We're just trying to pour it. That's what happens. It attacks you. So why do we do these things? It's something about ego. We want to hold on to these things, these ways that people have wronged us. They give us some identity, in a sense. There's a kind of payoff. Like we think, I'm a victim here, and we can maintain that. The world has wronged me. We can keep that up. But why, we can have that payoff and feel helpless, or we can do something else and get that moment of choice, that choose your own adventure moment. Apply consciousness to our grudges, to our old feelings that perhaps maybe no longer serve us, and say, what do I want to do? I know what I want to do. Let go. Thank you for listening. Thank you for bringing awareness to those feelings that maybe have sat dormant or occasionally active in your stomach for so long. And when they arise in your thoughts, thank you for saying that was valid once, or that is valid, and now it is no longer worthy of my attention. Have a wonderful day.
A beautiful thought.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, then please take a moment, maybe take 5 or 10 seconds, just to think about somebody you care about who might benefit from hearing this episode. Send them a little message saying why they might enjoy this. That will be much appreciated. Helps me get the message out and helps people reduce their suffering and improve their happiness in their lives. Let's do that. Thank you and have a great day.
wanna feel